There's a theory that MS is an autoimmune disease, that for some strange reason your body attacks itself and it leaves little scarring. So you compare it to the plastic wrap around a wire, and it gets scarred and it leaves little holes in the wire, so that when you're trying to get a message through your nervous system, there's a little hole which leaves a gap, so the message doesn't get across. So the message is, move my feet. The message doesn't get delivered because there's a hole in the wiring. And that's pretty much what MS is. Okay, so at this stage, Ryan cannot walk. He has use of his hands, but sometimes it's quite limited. He has no balance, so even to sit up without something beside him to kind of hold him up, sometimes he falls over. And he has lost quite a bit of his vision, so he's legally blind. He can still see, he can figure out whether you're a girl or a boy, but he can't make out too much in the way of facial expressions and what have you, can you, Ryan? No. He can't swallow food very well anymore, and chokes a fair bit. And sometimes when he's really, really tired, his speech gets a little bit garbled. And I guess his biggest, most awful thing is the horrible fatigue that comes with this. Well, my life is now the one of a caregiver, so rather than having a lot of freedom that somebody my age might have, I have major responsibilities that I have to look after, and I'm happy to do it because it also gives me a purpose. And that's my biggest change, and I'm afraid to retire in case I don't have health care for Ryan.
Ruined my life.
It ruined his life. Yeah.
I went off to
He went off to university.
And my MS picked up a notch and I couldn't feed myself anymore.
Yeah, so he had to withdraw from school. So it's pretty much put everything in his life on hold. Right, Ryan? Yes. Major renovations. So we have to have wider hallways. One floor is ideal. The previous house that we had to put a lift in it, and that was breaking down, and it just wasn't as good as this. So we had to remove all the barriers that we could in the house, including in the washroom. So everything is barrier free. There's no walls. It's easy to get and move around, and everything's wide. And we had to put lifting equipment to get Ryan from his chair onto bed and from bed to chair. So a fair amount of work, and widen out doorways and just kind of make everything so that he doesn't bump into things too much.
And when you moved into this apartment, did you have to get things specially changed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we had to rent. I have great supports. I have a private lady that comes in first thing in the morning, so I can go to work. And then we have government funding workers, a PSW, which is a personal support worker, that comes in and assist Ryan in getting dressed and shaved and brushing his teeth and feed him a snack. And then in the afternoon we have a nurse that comes in because Ryan's on liquid tube feeding, and so she's here for 4.5 hours every day doing Ryan's feed and any other kind of nursing kind of stuff that he needs. That, yeah, we're just keeping a really good eye on him. So, and then we have some volunteer visitors that come in from Bob Kemp Hospice. We call them friendly visitors. So they come in and they chit-chat, and it's nice because it's somebody other than Ryan's mother for him to talk to. And that's pretty much the supports that we have, isn't it, Ryan? The MS Society of Canada's been wonderful supports. They do give me a small allowance for caregiver relief, so I can get somebody in so I can go out for a night, and they'll reimburse the money for that. We tried needles, didn't we, Ryan? There's some immune modulating needles, and we tried 2 different kinds. And while they did slow down the MS progression, they made Ryan very ill. We have been tested to see if Ryan's got blockages in his necks under this new CCSVI theory, and yes, he does. So we're on a waiting list to go to Albany, New York for the liberation treatment, and hopefully that's going to give Ryan a boost and a much better quality of life. We're hoping for that. Right, Ryan?
Like I haven't been waiting for
Yeah, we've had our name on the list for quite a while, so we're just waiting to get the call.
And he does use marijuana. How does that help him?
It relieves the spasms in his leg, and it also eases pain. Great support. Ryan goes to a support group once a month, and they just talk about their symptoms, and actually they have fun. They make fun of each other and make fun of themselves, and it's just a nice relief. And it's nice, Ryan always says, to go and talk to other people that have the same problems. And I have a support group for people who look after people with MS. And we share ideas and solutions and sometimes tears, and it's very good. They're a great society, and they're a big help. They put you in touch with people in the community that can help as well. The theory is that there's blockages in the brain, on the jugular and what have you, so that the blood that goes in doesn't flow out the way it should. It backs up into the brain and it leaves iron deposits. So, and Ryan's been tested, and they tested 6 markers that they look for, and Ryan has blockages in 5 out of the 6. So it's almost like angioplasty. What they hope to do is put a wire into the artery, insert a balloon, and open up the balloon to clear the blockage. And the theory is then the blood will be flowing better, and the iron deposits will not be sitting in his brain anymore. It'll relieve the fatigue, and there has been reports of physical symptoms kind of healing themselves eventually. So we're keeping our fingers crossed.
totally stinks.
Yeah.
It totally stinks.
Yeah.